Hey, you guys, it's Courtney Camaro. I'm outside of Muhammad Ali's real original home. We're in Chicago, and I wanted to shout out Al's Botanics and Herbs.
Sex Saturdays is sponsored by Sex God Male Enhancement Capsules. Available in 50 capsules and 100 capsules. Shipped all throughout the United States as well as international. One flat fee. Also, Sex Goddess Female Enhancement Pills. Also in 50 capsules and 100 capsules. Very good to spice up the, your love life and your energy levels in the bedroom. Also, we have other products available on owlsherbs.com. Check them out today. What's going on? Today, we're going to be talking about male sexual mastery, okay, and where you rank as a man in that sexual mastery. Okay, we're gonna talk about some different levels, and what I mean by sexual mastery. Where are you at in the bedroom department? Okay, where are you at in? We know how you are in the boardroom, but how are you in the bedroom? Okay, that is what we're gonna be talking about tonight. There's different levels. Women, they pretty much they like different types of men that have different levels as far as things is concerned. The highest level, a lot of times, what I learned a long time ago, when I was really young, still in my late teens, women will actually share men that have a higher level of sexual mastery. They'll definitely keep it on the low, but not only not only will they share, some will even fight. I learned that in high school. A lot of the I went to a predominantly black high school. Okay, so one of the things that I found out was women actually fight more than men, and a lot of those fights were regarding someone trying to date someone's man in high school. So of course, petty beefs and stuff like that, drama. But yeah, women are absolutely caca over men with higher levels of sexual mastery. So we're gonna get right into it. Okay. So basically, the first level is, I'll just say, lames. Okay, lames. So basically, everybody will be even, no matter what sexual mastery you are now, highest to lowest or whatever. Everyone is going to transition back to this. Okay, you go. Everybody is going to be an old man one day. All of the people talking about you tricking and all of that type of stuff. Um, that might be you one day, where you just imagine. And I'm not trying to have anybody feel bad about old age. You should be grateful to be old age, but understand this: it's some men out here, a lot of men out here. If you don't already have a wife that you grew old with, or you don't have significant others that you grew old with, or whatever, or sustaining long-term relationships, one of the things that you might have to do when you get 60 plus, even guys that are 50 plus, and even definitely 40 plus. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, you're going to possibly be, your main way that you have sex might be pay to play. It is guys that they've came to the peace and understanding that they understand they damn near got to pay for play every time they did get hard. It just is what it is. It's the consequences of getting to an old age and not having a long-term relationship with the women that you were with when you were younger. It's happened. It's going to happen. If you don't already have you a older, silver boo, let's just say silver boo, where y'all grow old together, or some type of relationship or whatever on the side, you're gonna be that dude that's gonna have to be a sugar daddy, and or you're going to be paying for play every time you want to get laid. And especially if you want younger women and you don't want to necessarily deal with older women, you're going to be priced out of or aged out of the dating market as a man. A lot of men that have money and means, like wealthy men, rich men, they already know that they got to pay for women, and they have, their lifestyle is as such. But that's not necessarily what I'm talking about in that regard. What I'm talking about is when you get older, some things start happening, such as you become more sedentary, and you get your body gets older. So arteries get hardened, and high blood pressure, inflammation, all different types of ailments happen, and then next thing you know, you have ED, okay, erectile dysfunction, and also you might even be impotent, and or a combination of ED and also impotence, okay, meaning you can't get it up, you can't keep it up. You're gonna every man is gonna get to a point where their penis is gonna start reversing and turn back into a little boy. Okay, like you know, I know people don't probably want to think about it, but every man is gonna get older. If he gets older, you start to reverse, and you can't, after a while, you got thoughts and dreams that you want to have sex, but your body is aged out to where it's not functioning like optimal enough to where you can get your penis hard. They have certain things you could do, and they got certain drugs and stuff like that, but after a while those drugs stop working. Now, I do remember this old guy that I used to help out as far as taking them, driving them to certain places, because he was old. He had a false leg because he basically injured his leg in a construction site. Basically, one of his co-workers was working a jackhammer, and he mistakenly geared the jackhammer onto his leg. So he basically severed his leg. He got like $1 million from the construction firm, and then he was already older. So he basically got full retirement plus Social Security, plus he had $1 million from a settlement from that construction accident. Well, the man he liked to, he's an old guy from Mississippi, and he liked to fuck like a rabbit. It didn't matter that he was 70 some years old. Um, he still wanted to get down. Now, he used something, I don't really know as far as what the drug was, but it wasn't necessarily, I don't think, Viagra. All I know is he said he used some type of needle. Every time he wanted to have sex, he had to pull out a needle and inject himself, for beforehand, in order to get his thing up. And of course, all of these women, pretty much, I seen some of them because I dropped them off at the casino. Well, I'm not gonna lie to you. We went to the casino together. He showed me one or two of them, and they were like either early 30s or late 20s. And yeah, he paid them in order to lay down with him. In order to have sex with him, he had to pay every time he wanted to have sex. Now he did have the money. Not every 70-year-old guy is a millionaire or sitting on two pensions and $1 million. So I mean, you got some people that have various forms of their socioeconomic class, even when you get older. And when you get older, it's very difficult to earn a living when you're older, so you can't necessarily compete. The older you get, the less your pay actually usually drops because you get aged out. It's hard for you to get a job. A lot of employers they don't want to hire older people. So your ability to earn becomes very, very challenging. And then you yourself, you don't want to have to do all the other stuff. That's why retirement savings and annuities and life insurance. Shout out to Alonzo Hall, your all-star advisor. Those things become really, really important. And it really doesn't even matter at that point. By the time you hit 60 and 70, if you haven't already started to save for retirement by the time you at your later years, no later than 30 and 40 years old, you can pretty much forget about it. It's already pretty much too late for you to save any money for retirement. So the thing is that not only is it a good chance that you're not going to probably have the money to be tricking off like that, because most people don't have money like that. Even if you get older, like I said, your pay tends to drop off when you get older. So if you even able to even get yourself up to arousal in order to initiate some type of sex. But needless to say, yeah, when you get older, yeah, you become lame in the sack. Okay. Of course, if you're sick, no matter what age you are, you got some type of disability or whatever. Yeah, of course. Okay. There are some people that are lame in the sack and they don't necessarily have nothing wrong with them or anything like that. They're just, I would say, inexperienced. You got a lot of men that are delayed in their, basically, um, just delayed in life where they really just don't have a lot of sexual experiences or even none. You got a lot of men that are virgins. They never even had sex. I think one of those right wing nationalists, white nationalists, I think is Nick Fuentes. I think he's a virgin. Okay, I think, and to I don't know how old he is, but I think he's in his early 30s, and he's a virgin. He's waiting. He's still waiting to get married, and is a virgin. Okay, talking about crazy shit, talking about if you have too much sex, you're gonna turn gay and shit like that. Just weirdo type shit. But yeah, you got some men that are, basically either virgins or they're inexperienced to some sort where they just they don't have a lot of sex or they haven't had a lot of sexual experiences and they're very, very inexperienced. So even if a sexual act actually occurred, it would be like damn near a virgin trying to have sex. I mean, they couldn't really do anything. They couldn't really initiate. They would have to be basically damn near seduced, and of course, the experience won't be great for the woman. So yeah, you have the first part of this is basically lames. And here's the thing, I know a lot of people, or even primarily women, they call men that are educated and are quote unquote nerdish. They call those men lames. Primarily, black women do that, and that's not the case. Just because a guy wears glasses and knows how to fucking operate a computer or read a book does not necessarily make him lame. Okay. The thing about and I'm gonna go into it. We can go into it right now, but the thug or the bad boy does not have basically the sexual mastery card all by himself. Sexual mastery is a wide variety of different men. Women, some women can tell if a man has some type of higher level of sexual mastery. Usually women talk. Women have, they have talk amongst their girlfriends. They'll a woman that might be more open, she'll say, damn, he had me shivering last night. He had me squirting or whatever. And that conversation will lead to almost like basically a positive review. And the other woman might reach out to you, or during um basically an outing or something like that, she might slip her number to you because she wants to experience that. And she ordinarily would not know that other than basically getting word of mouth from her friend. But the thing is that just as the bad boy is, quote unquote, the poster child of having extensive sexual experiences with women, and women, absolutely craving that, other men that are not, quote unquote, have the bad boy look, still have higher levels, if not higher levels, of sexual mastery outside of the quote unquote bad boy. It's just some women just don't really, a lot of times it's more to do with socioeconomic environments. A lot of times where if you live in the hood, you kind of have to be kind of tough or a tough guy. So mixing in with that, they don't really have nothing else to really measure from unless they probably go away or get out of the hood. And then they find out. But people like women like what they like. But needless to say, yeah, the whole lames versus being a nerd and staying out of trouble and stuff like that doesn't necessarily mean that a man does not have a higher level of sexual mastery. Some of those things can be learned over time. Some of those things, usually it comes with practice and age and understanding. Like, I'll tell you, for example, to not just to just kind of give things away for free, but you know you think as a young guy, I thought that fast fucking was, and I gotta definitely make this age, I gotta make this 18 plus. But I thought, because you watch a lot of pornos and a lot of sex scenes and videos, like movies and stuff like that, you think that fast fucking is the way to go. Like, that's your go-to, that's what women enjoy. What I found out really late, pretty much when in my early 40s, actually slow fucking has better results. I mean, it's like night and day results. You think that because you watching porn, all of the porn basically is a lot of fast fucking. No, deep, long, slow strokes is way more effective than the whole quote unquote fast fucking. And you can control your actual ejaculation a lot more doing that. But I mean, that's just a little tip. But yeah, lames, basically those are the first, I guess, archetype of sexual mastery, lames. Okay. So let's go into basically the second tier of men. And a lot of men are in this tier, and you could just say it's just basically average. Okay, most men, are average, meaning they tend to possibly they're not necessarily lame in the sack. They can get the result done. They can, basically get their significant other to climax, possibly, get them to, enjoy their experience, but they're not above average. They're just average, meaning they can get their one nut, and then they might be able to get their woman to come. They basically got probably one in a chamber, maybe two, with some rest or whatever, and they're just average. Average everyday, working guy comes home. He can please his woman just enough to satisfy her. But I mean, here's the thing with average guys, it's it is a gray area that you're leading to certain types of women. They're not able to be satisfied by average men. That's where the average guy kind of leaves the door cracked a little bit when it comes to their woman. If you got a woman that is not that sexually experienced, may even be a virgin when you met her, you being average is totally fine and okay. Let's take an extreme. Let's say a woman that's kind of been around a block or two and down the street, right? She ain't gonna necessarily be okay with you being average. Okay. She might get bored easily from an average guy in the bedroom. She's going to, think about, other men that possibly can give her more of a satisfying experience than you being an average guy. Okay. They've, had more experiences with different men, and they have more, men to basically size you up with. And that's why you should know who you're dealing with. If you're dealing with a woman that has way more sexual experience than what is normal for a woman, that opens up the door for a lot of problems where if you're not able to really go above and beyond, she's going to have some issues. So it's I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna definitely give some more tips, but yeah, guys that are just average. Most guys are average in the bedroom. They just wham bam, thank you, man. That's pretty much basically what that consists of. Some women are okay with that. They're fine with average. Average is just enough. It's women that'll be with you for the rest of your life, and you could just be an average lady. And they're, typically those women are more vibe oriented. They're, kind of, bookworms or, librarian types where they're quiet. They, the women that tend to be the best women, they're okay with average men. Okay. They were made for average men. Okay. It's certain women that, yeah, they'll probably get bored with the average guy. Okay. That's all I'm saying. So the third archetype, male sexual male sexual mastery, is, you probably heard this before. Other men have talked about this, have mentioned this as well. I think cousin T-Taw, he mentioned this. This is called daddy dick. Okay. Women, men, of course, men don't talk like this. Men don't be mentioning shit like this. They don't even bring this up. This is the lexicon of women. When women are in their little catty circles, they're in their little private parties and get-togethers. This is the type of lexicon they talk about. They talk about daddy dick. Okay. Here's the thing with this is the thing with men versus women, and I've talked about this many a times. When it comes to women, when they have children, it's a turnoff to other men. Only women really like children. Okay. But the thing when it comes to men, they get turned off by women with children because first of all, basically that means typically for other men, a child is an indication that there's another male around. Okay. There's another adversarial male that's around. These children, the young children, are the byproduct of another man possibly being around, and it's another mouth to feed, someone else to take care of. It just kind of defies when you go into like mammalian biology and stuff like that. It just doesn't bode well. Okay, but when it comes to men that have children, basically it's the opposite. And I know it might come with some type of penis envy and all kind of other things, but when it comes to basically women's sexual attraction towards men, women are attracted to men that have basically children, or the thought of them having children is not a turnoff to women. It is something that is verified that this person has children. It's certain women that absolutely they look for men that have children because it's a verification that this person has some viable sperm and healthy offspring. And it's almost like basically one of the things you got to understand about women that if you don't understand is women like reviews. Women really don't like, they don't even like really buying things if unless it has a good review, okay, or they have some type of word of mouth. Okay, this is good to go. Okay, they'll shop or whatever. So when you got a man that already has children and they already even see the children, they have a different response than men have as far as they are okay with basically you possibly impregnating them because they already have some type of uh, review that you again have viable sperm and healthy offspring. Okay, now that also it pretty much corresponds with biology, mammalian biology, you could say, because women tend to basically deal with men in the animal kingdom that do have multiple offsprings by different female species. Okay, so it's just the opposite, and it's just how it is, whether you like it or not. Men that are dads, are sought after more than women that are mothers or whatever. And the thing is that if you look at societies of old and late, that's why men have harems. They have harems of women. Men, have different types of different wives and all of that. Even if you go into the Bible, a lot of the prophets had more than one wife, and they had, a whole bunch of concubines, a bunch of wives. I think Solomon had like 700 concubines and 300 wives, stuff like that. So, and then you have the story of Queen of Sheba already knowing this and reaching out to him, coming to see him, and then laying with him and making a son, which was basically King David. So yeah, basically yeah, that's well, I think wait, what was Sheba's son? I you know what? I might be wrong. I might be wrong. No, her son was Menelik, I think. Yeah, Menelik. Yeah, I had that wrong. But yeah, basically, yeah, women, the reason, one of the reasons why they they like men that already have children. They like the daddy dick is because I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you this is something you probably never heard before. From a man that has had children or whatever. Uh, when it comes to actually the act of sex, let's even say raw intercourse, okay, because that's how you have children. When you actively are, if you already have children, you get highly skilled in copulation. Okay, you know how to even get women pregnant. Like you know how to dig deep. You know how to get in those, what I'm saying, tight corners. What I'm saying? It's almost like, okay, let's just imagine if you're a hitman, right? Well, the opposite of a hitman will be, let's just say, somebody that knows, instead of taking life, you know how to give life. You become highly skilled at, let's just say, giving life or impregnating women, right? You become, they call these men serial impregnators. You know what I'm saying? All that type of stuff. Well, it just kind of like that, where women get really drawn to men that know how to have sex on that type of level, where they know how to get in, they know how to it's a certain even understanding. It's like a fear, like not so much a fear, but it's like a man that is not scared and already knows the process of being a father. You know what to expect, you know what's coming. What I'm saying? You know how to do it. You've done it before. Some women are turned on by that. Even almost to the point where it's kind of like a carnal, something carnal, where they can see this person is willing to go balls deep and has already done it. It's just something. It's something to it. And women are attracted to that, and it is a thing. It is something that again, like women talk like this as far as talking about daddy dick. They don't Men don't sit around be talking about daddy dick. I'm just doing a kind of like basically some type of discussion, but I don't be bringing this up either. But the thing is that definitely this is something that women regularly talk about. It's kind of a, I would say, a black cultural term, kind of a ghetto black cultural term, where it's not necessarily something that came out of culture, of American culture. It came out of basically the urban culture, as far as words, something that's in a urban dictionary. You're not gonna find it in Webster's or some type of encyclopedia or something. This is just something. This is an urban term for men that are fathers and have good dick. Okay. Daddy dick. And a lot of times black women, pretty much that's what they talk about. I don't know if white women talk about something different or whatever. I don't really necessarily know, but a lot of what I hear when I hear women talking about this is primarily black women that talk about, quote unquote, daddy dick. You know what I'm saying? So that's primarily that's primarily where I hear that term from, and who I hear it from is primarily black women. Okay, they love them some daddy dick, and I have to say, um, I'll say that basically a lot of a lot of black women get a lot of bad rap, and rightfully so, in the men that they choose, because basically Black women have more freedom sexually than probably any other woman in America. And the reason why they have sexual freedom, a few of the reasons why they have sexual freedom is because basically the father not being in the household and just basically kind of being unchecked in the household is kind of why one of the reasons why they have that autonomy um to choose whoever they want to choose sexually. And a lot of times they get they get a bad rap because they tend to choose men. They tend to choose men that basically have really um good dick, basically. That's who they choose. One of the fastest ways to get a woman pregnant is, if you already have a child. That's that is one of the fastest ways to get another baby. Like, because once women know that you got some daddy's dick, they trying to get with you. That's one of the reasons why men that are, have a wedding ring on, women are attracted to men that have other women. It's just some type of urge that basically women have for men. you know um it's something that women like, and they don't really necessarily talk about. They don't necessarily talk about their or at least openly, their liking of men that have children, or quote unquote their liking for daddy dick. They don't necessarily talk about that. But they actively um get with women, with men that have other women and have children by other women, and they're gladly willing to join that man's harem. They just are more than willing to do that. It's kind of like okay, with with women with children. A lot of times what happens is women that have really good pussy, let's just say, a lot of times you can see why they got a baby or two, because a lot of women that have really good pussy and they look good, what's going to typically happen is somebody. Okay, here's the thing, and I'm not defending women or anything like that, but it is what it is, right? Some women get with men, and they already know that they have really good pussy. They take care. They take care of their pussy. They make sure it smells good. They not all over the place. They have some good. Let's just say they got good pussy management, right? It's some men that they'll get with women, and I know I've heard this before, and I know you've heard this before. They'll get with men that basically want to impregnate them. Okay, what I mean by is they wanted to trap them into a baby, because women will trap men, right? They'll try to trap men, but there's also, I don't know how many times that I've dealt with a woman, right? And she told me that basically she dealt with a dude that cut holes in the condom, or told her that, you know, he had a condom on, and turns out he didn't, and then she got pregnant. You know what I'm saying? Like, or, you know, the dude, you know, basically wanted to have a baby with her, but she didn't want to have a baby. You know what I'm saying? Like that type of shit. You know, it is men out here that certain women, they want to get pregnant. Just like a woman that is trying to trap a man you with a baby. It's men out here that their motive, and it's usually women that are, I would say, I call them 7 ups. They're, as far as in the 1 to 10 look scale, they are 7 and up, you know, so 7, 8, 9, and 10. So they'll try to basically do a male version of pregnancy trapping. Okay, they'll do a male version of that, because you got women that basically trap men, but most of the times what you hear is the women's side of it, where the woman has trapped the man to basically getting pregnant. But you don't really hear about men trapping women into getting pregnant. Okay, you don't really hear about that, but it is men that do that. Okay, it absolutely do, but you don't really never hear about that. This chick right here, she's gonna talk about it a little bit. She's gonna add some context to this. So let's go. Let's see what she's talking about.
Hi, ladies. Hello. I hope everybody is good. I just want to talk about something I've discovered recently or lately, or something that I've noticed lately. And I think I've spoken about this once way back last year sometime, about how men always speak in opposites. And what made me think about this is like this thing of men always saying women are trapping them with babies. If you think about that thing of women trapping men with babies, the real truth is that the men actually trap women, because men are not responsible for kids. They're not the sole rearer, child rearer, or they're not the sole one who's responsible of being with the child 24/7. So it just had me wondering and asking myself, in this thing of baby trapping, who's really trapping who? Because women are most times financially responsible for the kids.
Now, I
Hi, ladies. Hello. I hope everybody is good.
A lot of low down broke
Hi. Hi.
a lot of low down broke gigolo men will definitely try to trap women. I know. We always hear about, women trying to get the bag from the guy. No. What's not talked about enough is the fact that a guy that really don't have nothing going on for himself will definitely try to trap you. Like, or someone that don't want you to leave them alone, they will try to get you pregnant. You got to be smart. Open your eyes and ears. look at everything.
See, a lot of guys don't talk about that, and I mean, most of the conversation, 100% of the conversation is about the woman trapping men or the desire for women trying to trap men. But you got to understand, there's a lot of desperate men in this country. Okay, I'm just gonna say this country. When you go worldwide, of course, it's just it's just mind blowing. But a lot of men are very much very desperate. See, the man that basically wants in-house pussy, and he wants a woman to be in-house, and he wants her to be with her, and basically, I talked about this before. The man that wants to wife a woman up right away, those types, those types of men will do things like this. And it's a lot of men that are like this, and they do not want to admit they're on YouTube, they're on online, and they do not want to admit that they're like this. Now, of course, there are certain women that men will I mean openly talk about. Yeah, I would knock her up. Okay, yeah, that's what that's a little different, but that's kind of what I'm saying. Like, the whole baby mama thing and all that. Okay, if given the opportunity for a woman that is of a higher caliber as far as looks and everything like that, a man would absolutely knock her up. Okay, a lot of men. It'll be men in line trying to knock her up, where they'll be actively, like, I'm not gonna say that I'm any different. It is women, yeah. I've said it before. It's certain women that I'll just be like, how much you need for your child support check? You know what I'm saying? How much you looking for? Like, I mean, what you need? You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, no cap, because it's certain women that they look so good that to certain men, they okay with paying that check, man, and it's gonna be on time too. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's men that just go a step further than that, though, that they're not stating their desire or anything like that. They're not being upfront. They are just basically, on the first date, they strongly pursuing. Then, after about 4 or 5 months, after 3 months, they damn near talking about engagements. You know what I'm saying? What you want to name your children, your baby, if you have a boy and a girl. Then after about 5 months, they already got a fucking engagement ring and driving around with an engagement ring in their car, because they want to lock this chick up. It's what I'm saying? Like, that's how a lot of men roll. They just don't like to admit that. They don't necessarily like to talk about it. I talked about it before. It's called mate guarding. A lot of men, biologically, on a sexual level, they do a concept which is called mate guarding. They try to basically lock a woman up. They, in the hood, in the Urban Dictionary, you call it handcuffing the broad. Handcuffing. You know what I'm saying? Handcuffing the chick is, basically, that's a urban term for the same word or words, which is mate guarding, handcuffing the chick. That's what dudes do, and those same dudes, yeah, they'll even go a step further. They'll be purposely trying to, without the woman's knowledge, trying to get her pregnant. It is a few men that they won't tell you that, but they suckers to the point where They so desperate for a chick. They really trying to knock her up so they can lock her in, like basically like women do typically. You know what I'm saying? And they, it just they they so desperate they think that that's something that is gonna work. But they will never tell you that they did that. They never talk. They will never tell you. It's almost like it's like they're a bitch in private, where they, like women keep secrets and shit. Bitches keep secrets. That's one of the secret a man will probably take to his grave. He won't tell you that he purposely tried to knock up a chick. That's why he got a baby mama. That's why he with her or trying to deal with her or have, all of these different gripes about his baby mama or whatever, because he tried to trap the broad. So it does happen. It's just guys don't want to talk about that shit.
Like, if this is not someone that you don't want to marry one day, or you know what I mean, open your eyes. And I want a lot of my young ladies to start requesting that, yeah, we get married before we have kids. Because a lot of the times these guys don't never have no intentions on ever marrying you, but they don't want you to be too detached from them. So they get you pregnant and act real crazy on you. I done seen it happen multiple times. Not from personal experience, but happening to other people. Please be safe, because just like women are trying to trap and get the bag from men are trying to trap women with their lives. Like someone that don't want to leave you alone but don't want to treat you right, they'll definitely try to trap you. A lot of low down.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, it happens. I mean, I just had to bring that up because, basically, when it comes down to, just say lower tier men, those are the things that they'll try to do to compete with higher tier men, is basically trap women sexually into a long-term commitment, with basically getting them pregnant. Okay, let's see what this other chick talking about. She looked like she Italian or something.
Honestly, I feel like men just try to trap women and get them up with children because they want to manipulate them and they want to have them held up for life. My dog is in here and she's just hot. But I had a conversation with a guy earlier today who was like, you need to like really be considerate about like your future children, because you don't want to be an old mom who's, just concerned about being stable rather than having a bunch of children. And I'm like, what?
I mean, that is a thing.
Never had these. I was just trying these and they're not.
I mean, but.
Well, I thought they would taste like this. Okay. But I was like, hold on, wait, what? First of all, a woman is going to have a child when she's ready to have a child with a man that is deserving to have a child with.
That don't make sense though. I will say he probably was a friend that was looking out for her. You know what I'm saying? Like, that ain't necessarily like you can, if a woman could wait technically a long time, to where she's damn near in her, 40s, you know what I'm saying, damn near even pushing 50, until she finds that right guy, whoever that is. You know what I'm saying? That's not necessarily something that, pretty much women can control. You don't know when that quote unquote right guy is coming. And then one thing you do know is you're going to age out of motherhood. Men age out later than women. That's one of the pros and cons of being a man versus a woman. Women do age out of being a quote unquote mother or parent at an earlier age. Okay. So the thing is that you do age out, and then if the right person doesn't come along, then what? What I'm saying? You're still at the point where basically you may never find that person. Then what? Then you're not you're just gonna basically not have any children. Okay, that's the only thing that can happen from that. Now, and I had, I got like some chick that's from I met on Facebook, right? And she's in her 40s, mid 40s, and she's talking about she about to have IVF treatments and all of this stuff, and she can't have sex because she got a tube that's like messed up, or she gets pregnant, some type of, I don't know, some issues with her tube or something, where she have some type of problem where when she conceives, the baby gets stuck in her tubes, okay, instead of her uterus or whatever. I don't know what the fuck that term is and all of that, but yeah, she's depending on science to try to have a child in her later years. So it does happen. It is a thing, a point of contention, but it's definitely a conversation that it should be had by more by most women, and it shouldn't be a situation where you're talking about you waiting, because women don't really have a lot of time. Okay, that's the that's the red pill or black pill about women. Women don't really have a lot of time. Okay, and I see women every day wasting their life, wasting their time, and after a while, that's it. Poof. You become some old lady in a car, basically talking about what could have been and what you should have done and all that shit.
Now, me, particularly this woman right here, I'm not having a child with a man unless he is my husband and there is a ring on my finger. I'm sorry. Honestly, the man can have children. This day and age, people have baggage. So I don't come with any, but the only way that I'm going to allow a man to impregnate me and stick a seed up in me that I am having to deal with for the rest of my life, that is the absolute minimal standard.
What's going
And
on?
I wish that there was more women out here like that, but a lot of women don't feel like that, or some women just don't want to get married. There are some women who are okay with having a man just provide for them if they have their child, because that's what they want to do in life. That's just not who I am. I have big goals for my life. I have big things, and big things that honestly are going to take a lot of focus, that would be selfish to involve a child with. So I don't really want to have children.
So I think Media Man did a show on different different archetypes of women. So one of the archetypes, I don't know if he talked about this, but this woman is basically what I would call a designer baddie. Okay, you see she's got a Prada purse. She's got like she's got all designer.
Honestly, I feel like
She's
don't feel
got all designer on. Okay. I call them designer baddies. Basically, a lot of these women are looking for that quote unquote high value man, because that's the only man that can basically take care of all of these designer wants that they have and needs that they have. You know, I mean, I could tell by the car that she's driving, that's definitely a luxury car. You know, so it's like, you know, basically this is the archetype of like the designer baddie, the luxury, you could call them the lux baddie, the luxury baddie. Like these women, a lot of these women, they they have, you know, problems with getting men because they looking for like 92 or higher men, but they will fuck around with men that don't really have that much just for fun, but they won't necessarily claim those men. But they looking as a long-term relationship. So short term, they're looking for they okay with, like, you know, broke guys, up and coming guys with good dick. But for long-term relationships, they're looking for quote unquote high value men. But the tripped out thing about why they don't get those high value men for long term relationships is most men are not dumb. They know, you know, basically a Lux baddie that's basically, you know, out there is basically for the streets, you know, because they don't have no patience, you know what I'm saying? They don't be having no respect. They run off their mouth. And you know what I'm saying? They just get clues and then they know that they can't, you know what I'm saying? They can't have this woman to be their wife because they're not really wives. You know, wives know how to shut their mouth. They know how to, you know, basically respect men. They're men, you know. Our men's, again, like I say this, I'm not the only one that said this before or whatever. I've said this many times. Other guys have said this. Men need respect. We don't give a fuck about love. We need respect. Our respect is everything. If you don't respect a man, that's a good way for that man to no longer be there.
Like that, or some women just don't want to get married. There are some women who are okay with having a man just provide for them if they have their child because that's what they want to do in life. That's just not who I am. I have big goals for my life. I have big things and big things that honestly are going to take a lot of focus that would be selfish to involve a child with. So I don't really want to have children or be responsible for someone else's life before mine until I have done the things that I want to do. So if that takes me longer because I'm not cheating my way or rushing my way to the top, then yeah, I'm going to wait to have children until my empire is built and I have done all the things that I want to do. And it's not happening without a ring. That's just me. I'm not saying the girls are wrong, but
Yeah, I mean, you know, basically she's looking for a man to kiss her ass and buy her a designer, okay? And live in the lap of luxury. And it's like, yeah, I mean, ain't nobody really trying to do that shit but a simp. And you know, women, you know, it's a mixed bag as far as women that deal with simps, as far as, you know, what they try. I mean, I don't know. You know, she looked like she might, you know, be bored. She might, you know, women get bored with simps. Yeah, she's very masculine. Okay. That coat is masculine. I mean, you know, shoot, just her. That, a lot of times, women that are independent too long, they become masculine. They ain't got no choice but to become masculine. It's just what they do. You know what I'm saying? Um, but she look good though. You know, she all right. She about a 5 or a 6, depending on where she is. You know, when she says build her right, she wants you to be. Yeah, she wants to be the queen. You know, the queen without a kingdom. You know what I'm saying? Um, you know what I'm saying? She wants you to be there to bask in her empire. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, she reminds me of one of the mafia bosses' daughters. That's what she reminds me of. Um, but you know, good luck to her. You know what I'm saying? I just, you know, I just had to say, you know, again, it's some men that do trap women. You know, that is a thing. So last and finally, so we talked about, you know, basically we talked about lames, we talked about average, talked about daddy dick. Now, the last part of this male sexual mastery, it kind of goes into the spirit world. Okay, if you kind of know where I'm going, you might know, you might not know. But basically, the last segment of this, and it kind of goes beyond daddy dick, is demon dick. Okay, now here's the thing, right? Now, you know, the rap world, you know what I'm saying, you know, a lot of this shit comes from like trap music, or not so much trap music, drill music. I'm on demon time and all of that. Well, it is a lot of, I will say, the street, and this is where I talk about the streets, and this is where the quote unquote thug kind of has the card, you know, as far as being known for, you know, having a high level of sexual mastery. Not all of them, but where they you know kind of tap into this is, you got to understand the mind and the lifestyle of a man that is out in the streets doing illegal activities. Okay, so I have never been out there doing quote unquote illegal activities that's gonna give me football numbers and all of that type of stuff. Okay. Um, well, not well, I had moments where I fucked up. I've done some fucked up shit in life, and I got caught. But the thing is, I ain't never been, that's not never necessarily been my daily, weekly, yearly lifestyle. I'll just say that. It's some men that is their daily, weekly, yearly lifestyle. Where, like, I'll just speak on what I know from, you know, from Chicago. You know, you got guys like that all across the United States where they on demon time. Okay. What do you mean by demon time? They don't believe in nothing. They don't believe in no one but themselves. And they're rough. They're savage. They're savages. And when it comes to women, they're savages as well in the bedroom, because they don't really, you know, they don't give a fuck about the woman per se, and they going, you know, they don't have no emotions, no feelings. It's kind of carnal, you know, when they go, you know, they get down sexually. And I'm not saying that all street dudes are just the only ones that have demon dick. Okay, this is all encompassing. You know, it's just a certain level of sexual mastery that you tap into, you know, where you can, you know, kind of pretty much kind of go almost like having an outer body experience. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you drilling so hard that, you know, she's, you know, this is where, you know, the shaking comes in. This is where, you know, she starts creaming and all of that type of shit, because you really ain't yourself. You done tapped into a spirit, and you fucking her brains out, you know. And I mean, I'll have to say, a lot of street dudes do have a reputation for you know, having that you know, demon dick. Okay, you know, that sexual mastery where, you know, they just used to, they become they get a reputation of, you know, fucking a bitch brains out. You know what I'm saying? They get that reputation. They get known, you know, for that. And then other women in the streets, they go to those men that have that level of mastery as well, you know. So it is a thing, you know. And here's the thing, right? when it comes to one of the things I have to mention about both Daddy Dick and quote unquote Demon Dick is this is the territory where you can't really deal with a lot of women like that. When you're that's what you're used to, you really can't deal with a lot of women because women start to become they get addicted to you. Okay. You can't unless you want to like lower yourself sexually to where you not fucking as good, or I'm heard men talk about that where they just they can't fuck every woman the same, and all of that type of stuff. And that differs. I mean, some men have more sexual opportunities than others, and they might not be compelled to to necessarily do that to where they want to have a lower sexual experience because they don't really have that many sexual experiences, so they don't want the possibility of losing out, so they won't do that. They won't necessarily do that, but the thing is that when it comes down to it, those levels, when you're on that higher level, you cannot be too loose with women, because this is that territory to where you're creating alpha widows and women that will possibly cause you harm or become addicted to you. Okay. Now, what do I mean by addicted? Okay. Now, I don't know if you ever had a woman say that they was gonna kill themselves because you didn't want to talk to them anymore. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Like, the thought of you not being in their life anymore is something that they was willing to kill themselves, or they mentioned that they was going to kill themselves because they did not want to lose you, and stuff like that. That's what I'm talking about. That's where you gotta, kind of watch who you're dealing with, because you can be in a situation where you have some woman addicted to you. Okay. That's what I'm talking about. So that's where I just have to say that, I draw caution myself personally, because I don't want, the wrong woman, what I'm saying? I deal with the wrong woman, and then all of a sudden now I'm stuck with a woman that is addicted to me, that I don't, it's not the feelings is not mutual, and it's not a possibility that I'm going to be satisfied with this woman. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be careful when you doing, what I'm saying, some high intense, fucking, what I'm saying, when you get in a woman, what I'm saying, all, in her feelings about you, what I'm saying, you got to be careful with that. What I'm saying, you can't just be can't be slanging dick like that, with the wrong woman. What I'm saying, she some women don't know how to control that. They what I'm saying, they don't know how to back up off of that. Now you got a bunch of bitches stalking you. What I'm saying, stalking you on the internet and shit. Stalking you outside your window. And you like, damn. I mean, I just I ain't want no relationship. I just wanted to have a good time. Now this broad is stalking me. She following me everywhere I go. She, what I'm saying, I blocked her on everything. She creating new accounts. You know, that's where that situation goes where, you know, you got, you know what I'm saying, you got a bunch of fucking stalkers, you know, stalking you and shit. You know what I'm saying? They can't let you go. So you gotta be careful. Like, you know, you can't just be, you know, sleeping with everybody, you know what I'm saying? And their mama and shit. Cause that's where you get into trouble with that type of, you know, situation. Cause, you know, you know, you got a whole bunch of addicts out here. You know what I'm saying? It's not a good situation. It's not a good look. So anyway, I'm trying to look for a particular video. I don't know if I can find it. Maybe I can find it. I think I'm gonna try to look for it. I know where it is, I believe. I'm gonna try to find this particular video. It's from a channel. It's from a channel that, let me see. I know where I can find this at. Let me see here. It's this chick basically talking about, they having a discussion. She's like a sex therapist or something like that. Let me see if I can find this fucking video here. Let me play a commercial here.
Sex Saturdays is sponsored by Sex God Male Enhancement Capsules. Available in 50 capsules and 100 capsules. Shipped all throughout the United States as well as international. One flat fee. Also, Sex Goddess Female Enhancement Pills. Also in 50 capsules and 100 capsules. Very good to spice up your love life and your energy levels in the bedroom. Also, we have other products available on owlsherbs.com. Check them out today.
Oh, let's see here. I'm still looking for. I think I found it. I think I found where I was, what I was trying to find. Let me see here. Because I know this chick and she was talking to somebody. Let me see. This is a long time ago. Oh, let me see if I can find this fucking video here. Give me just a second. Let me see it. Okay. Let me share. Oh yeah, there we go. Finally found it. Shit. I hate the playback when I be like, it be taking me too long to find shit. And then I'll be looking, it'd be like, damn, you know, it just don't be good. And this is just like, yeah, this is right here. This is about right here. It just started getting juicy. So we gonna play this here.
And different things like that. And we talked about the different types of ejaculate. And so I thought this was a time to add some fact into this conversation, because a lot of times it's opinions and what you feel and what you don't like, which is the basis of the conversation, which makes no sense. Okay.
Especially not when we've got science to help us out.
Not when we have science to help us out. So we're going to transition to the board here, and we're going to talk about the 4 different types of ejaculate and clearing up some of that confusion. So if you'll talk us through it, go ahead and I'll help you lead through here. But go ahead and let's start with urinary bladder.
Emission.
Emission.
Yes. So the thing that most people aren't aware of is that there's actually 4 different types of female emission, is what I say. So
Okay.
only one of them is true ejaculate, is analogous to the male ejaculate, but the other 3 are fluids that are released by our bodies at high states of arousal.
Okay.
And I've been in this field for 15 years now, right?
The godmother, y'all. The godmother of orgasm.
And so when I was first starting out, I was hearing the same conversations about ejaculation and that sort of thing. And there was a tremendous amount of confusion because people were like, well, it comes out of my vagina, but it comes out of here and it comes out of here. And sometimes it's like this and sometimes it's like that. So I just dove in and I researched the science behind all of these different emissions that come from our bodies. And so what we've outlined are the 4 different types of female emission that you may experience at various points during sexual intercourse. Now, there may be more than these 4,
Right.
right?
But these are the ones we're going to talk about.
These are the ones that we're going to talk about right now. But I also just want to say, if you've had experiences that don't fall here, celebrate those too.
They're still valid.
They're
you
still
know?
valid.
So first, let's start off from we'll start off from the left. that
Okay.
These 4 are divided into 2 categories. And
Yes.
so if you would lead us into explaining, yes, perfect.
Yes. So there are 2 urethral emissions and 2 vaginal emissions. And so just so we're on the same page, so everybody knows who and what we're talking about, when we're talking about the urethral emissions, I'll back up a little bit. So this is your vulva. Okay. The vulva
Oh.
is everything that you see with your external eye. This is not a vagina. This is a vulva. A vulva consists of the mons pubis, which is the fleshy mound above the clitoris, your outer labia, your inner labia, and then all the lovely coverings for all of your orifices. And of course, your clitoral glands, which is that beautiful little blue button right there. Yes.
So we're going to pause. That was a lot of information at one time. So I'm going to translate a little bit here.
Thank you.
So that means you have your clitoral hood and you had a lips and, the coochie fat.
Yes.
The coochie fat that's covering the coochie.
Yes.
All right, vulva.
Thank you.
All right, let's
Thank
keep
you.
going.
Coochie fat.
Coochie
Yes.
fat.
So then all this lovely flesh is covering 2 orifices. Your actual vagina, which means sheath in its Latin for sheath, is this hole right here, the larger hole. And it's best to penetrate this hole if you're going to penetrate it with a finger vertically, as opposed to trying to do that. That's not that doesn't really
stabby.
work. So this way is the best way to penetrate that beautiful orifice. And then above that is the urethra. And so this is where the first 2 types of female emission occur, is they come out of the urethra, which is your pee hole.
There we go. See,
Yes.
she already knew where we was going. Because see, that's where the controversy comes in.
Yeah.
Is it pee? But let's get into explaining both of them, and then we'll talk about, is it pee? Is it pee? But we'll save that. So you have urinary bladder emission,
Yep.
which is one of these is the creamy white one.
That comes out of the vagina. That's the cream.
Okay, I'm
essence.
getting ahead. Okay,
Mhm.
go ahead and explain the
So
urinary.
the urinary bladder discharge. So this is controversial. So there have been numerous studies done where they have collected the fluid from a woman's vagina or her
Mhm.
urethra, like in a cup or however they do it, and they've analyzed the fluid. And sometimes there's pee in it, and
Mhm.
sometimes they're not.
Right.
I can't remember the exact chemical composition, but there are prostate-specific antigens. So for those who don't know that, those are present in actual like male ejaculate. It comes from a
Right.
prostate, right? So there are prostate-specific antigens in the urinary bladder emission. But what they found from using MRIs, I guess they had women drink a lot of fluid and then had them on the table and masturbate themselves, that kind of thing.
Donated their
and
pussy
they-
to science.
Exactly. And
Donated their
then
pussy to
watched like
science.
what was going on in their bladder and that sort of
Right.
thing. And so for some reason, the way the human body works is as we get aroused, fluid is pulled from all over
Mhm.
the body and dumps into the bladder.
Mhm.
Now, I read this thing many years ago in this book called The Tao of Health, Sex, and Longevity, which is a book about Taoist sexuality. And one of the things that they said is that when the human bodies get aroused, the glands that sit on top of the kidneys get activated, and that's what stimulates this
Right.
pulling of water. But Western science doesn't necessarily agree with that. So I
Right.
just like to put that out there.
Gotcha.
But all we know is that fluid gets into the bladder.
when you get horny and aroused,
your
and
bladder's like,
and the coochie is bumping, that's
Yeah.
when stuff starts coming. So urinary bladder emission is what we call
Squirting, exactly.
And so what I tell people is diet pee, y'all.
Yes,
It's
thank
diet
you.
pee. But when you ask, does that mean that you just pissed on someone? You know what it feels like when you're peeing. Okay, that means that you sat down or squat, I hope, or maybe you stood, but you feel it being let go. You're pushing it out. It's happening because you're choosing to do it.
Yes.
We're talking about something that's being pulled from your body. Even if you use the bathroom right before, it's pulling involuntarily. You're not
Yes.
trying to even use the restroom. And if you've ever been aroused, which I hope that you have, you know how difficult it is for your body to switch when actually you just had an orgasm and then you can't
Go
use
pee.
the bathroom, which
Exactly.
is why they tell you to go pee so you can avoid urinary tract infections. Take care of
Mhm.
your coochie. All right.
Mhm.
So these are the things. So you can't talk about urinary tract infections and you're like,
It's a particular part that I'm trying to get to that she's gonna mention that is related to this conversation at hand. So bear with me.
this is real, da 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 da, and then also say, well, this is piss. This is proving that your body
Yes.
switches. It comes out of the same thing, but it turns. It's almost like it turns over in a way, you know.
Well, I mean, men ejaculate and urinate out of the same hole too.
And
so
no
why
one
couldn't
says
we?
a
Exactly. So
thing.
why couldn't we? Right. So as you were saying, there may be some urine in it, but the full composition is not
That's
urine.
not
It's
me
not pee.
peeing. That's
Yes.
not peeing. Is there pee in it? Yes, it's a diet piss in there, but it's not me peeing on you. If I was pissing on you, I'd be pissing on you.
Well, and the thing about having a squirting orgasm is we have to relax for those, right? We can't force those. So the more
First off.
relaxed we are, then the body just kind of does its thing. So
And also, you can squirt without having an orgasm. So
That
you
part.
guys are chasing squirting. I need you to chase your orgasm, and you'd be surprised how many things come to you that you've been trying to do if you just focus on having an orgasm.
just relax.
Just relax. Just
Yeah.
relax. So we're gonna go into these other ones because also there are a lot of people that come to me and they're like, you know, I can't, I'm trying to squirt. I'm trying to squirt. I've never heard anyone try to be what their body just does.
Yes.
We're different. And so I want to
Mhm.
make sure we touch on these, and it doesn't have to be as in depth. But the other ones and what they are and how they're kind of more distinct. And then we'll talk about like gushing, because gushing is always confused with squirting.
Squirting. Yes.
And-
And they're distinctly different. And I do lots of gushing, so I can talk about that one a lot.
Okay.
So the second one is actual prosthetic fluid, and that
Mhm.
actually comes from your G spot. It comes from your urethral
Mhm.
sponge and the tiny glands embedded there, and it is exactly homologous, means same as male prosthetic fluid. So
Okay.
that is your actual prostate fluid,
Okay.
and that's stimulated from massaging and stimulating the G spot,
Yes.
and that's usually just a tiny little bit.
It's a
amount.
couple drops.
Yeah, it's a few drops.
That's her getting wet. Like when you see when a chick got wet, when she wet, if you even like you finger in the bra and she wet already, that means she's aroused. She's like she's get wet, like what I'm saying. She like damn near about to come, but she ain't there yet. Like that's like the first step to arousal. She's already, creaming. Women get, I mean, not creaming. She's getting wet. Like women get wet without a man touching them, without what I'm saying, being around a man. Some women get really, really horny. One of the things that men don't really probably understand, a lot of young men, is that women get really, really horny. All you gotta do is be around a bunch of, if you're around a bunch of cats, if you ever been around a female cat in heat, you will understand the nature of a woman. You know what I'm saying? I've been around cats my whole life. When a female cat is in heat, oh man, it's nothing more about the understanding of the potential of how horny a woman could absolutely be than that, seeing that, you know what I'm saying? And it's like you have no idea how horny women could get. Women try to hide all of this. They try to keep. They don't really like talking about it, but they get so horny. What are the most of the times that you hear about is during their ovulating. When they're ovulating, they get really horny. Okay, a lot of times women just to mask their horniness, they just, basically masturbate. But if you got a woman that don't masturbate, I mean, she's like she's walking around like a ticking time bomb. She's ready to explode. You know what I'm saying? But basically, that's women getting wet. That prosthetic, whatever they said, prosthetic gland or whatever.
So if you guys have never seen that, if you go to the Patreon, the removed videos, I actually had some women donate their pussy to science. And I was, when I did the masturbation squirting class, I was teaching and I was getting a lot of feedback like, well, this doesn't work. And I was like, well, you're not doing it right. And I know that because women have donated their pussy to science to me, and I did the class on them. And I showed, like, we literally had a videographer zoom in, and it's like, okay, you see what's happening now. You see how there are a couple of droplets. It's like your pussy has tears, a couple of tears, and it's kind of, yes. And now I didn't taste it because it was just a demonstration, but it's like a little sweet and things like that. And so, your pussy make tears basically. And so that's what the prostate fluid is.
Yes.
All right. So then we have gushing.
And so the way, so I'd heard about this one before, but the way I distinguish it is if you've ever been riding your man and he says it feels like a waterfall and it's like sweat drip down his balls kind of thing, then you're gushing. Like that is gushing. Yes. So it is absolutely not coming from your urethra. It's flooding his lap. It's flooding your legs. It's flooding the bed. Mm-hmm. Chances are that that's gushing. Usually squirting only comes from the urethra, and it's like, and it's the top part of your pussy, right? So you can feel the difference.
Gushing also feels like he's sticking in and out, and then like a water balloon burst on his dick.
Yes. I love that analogy. Yes.
I felt that shit before, and I ain't know what the hell that was. It was like my dick touched a waterfall, and I'm inside the pussy. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I couldn't explain it, but the way they talking about it now, that's explaining it. I was like, I didn't know what the fuck was going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, all I felt was like, it was like if you ever been on the underside of a waterfall or, at a water park or some shit, and then the water coming down, and you could touch the waterfall coming down. That's the way that shit felt. I was like, damn, what the fuck is up? The hell is inside here? It's like a goddamn Niagara Falls up in this motherfucker.
And that one feels so good because it feels like, I know that balloons are like a little scary when we think about them popping, but this is a really good pop. And so you're in there and you're growing arousal, but it's like, okay, like something's growing, but a lot of times we shy away from that or think we have to use the bathroom or whatever. And it's like, follow it. So relax, let it happen. And also you can change them sheets.
Yes.
Let's get curious. Like,
and what's going to happen? Blankets.
Yes. Look here. King Hef was on here one time. I was like, yeah, get some puppy pads. And I was like, wait.
Well, and they actually make squirt blankets exactly for that. And they're all fuzzy and soft and microfiber.
The science for me every time. And so gushing is a lot of time what you're feeling. And, so sometimes you're chasing squirting when your body is doing something different and you're putting yourself down by not acknowledging the other things that it's doing. Maybe you're not a squirter, maybe you're a gusher. And, so there's that. And also sometimes you don't even know what it is that you like. You're like, I love this is this. And you're chasing something, but really you love gushing, not squirting. And,
and the whole reason to chase them is usually because you're seeing it, you're watching it or seeing it in media. Well, media doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about half the time when it comes to sexuality, right? So believe the experts. That's what we're saying.
Okay, watch the show. Not just another sex podcast, but today it is, right? Okay, and then you have cream
essence of woman. All right, so y'all men listening, if you have ever pulled your beautiful penis out of a vagina and there is cream all around the shaft and all of that, you have made your woman cream. And in Taoist sexuality, this is like the good. Like if you can make a woman's body cream, like Prince talks about, if you can make a woman's body cream, you are the man. Like basically you are not actually a mature sexual man until you have made a woman's body cream.
Yes. And
that's what I was saying. That's what I was waiting for right there, man. You know what I'm saying? Like that when I heard that, man, I was like, I probably was having a bad day or a so-so day. That made my day when I heard that shit, man. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, basically what's going on, NC Worker. So basically, I've read down the different archetypes, okay, of male sexual mastery. Okay. I'll give some tips on closing, how you can improve. First of all, a lot of what improvements is needed is because of the food we eat and processed food. I would say the first thing would be basically dieting and exercising. Okay. It could be as simple as basically fasting a little bit, and actually getting out, starting off walking and then running, trying to get yourself to basically get yourself to run. Okay. So or if you like to ride a bike, versus running, you could ride a bike. Okay. I'm more of a biker than a runner. Get on a bike. Go about a few miles round trip. Come back home. So that's the first thing. And as far as our exercising as well, so push ups and ab work, ab exercise are great. Okay, like leg raises. Okay, laying on a flat floor, basically on your butt, and just lifting your legs up and down. Okay, then doing push-ups. That's going to raise your testosterone levels. That's going to increase your blood flow, give you a lot more energy. Okay, that those are the things you can start right away to get some improvement. The second thing I would say is, basically you might need some type of supplements. Okay. I sell supplements on owlsherbs.com. Like not so much, I'm not talking about Viagra or anything like that, but just, some herbs, like some, elixirs or something like that to kind of aid the process of, basically you trying to help your body maintain its nourishments and keep yourself at an optimal level. Okay, supplements can help. That's available at owlsherbs.com. I have, products as far as, basically this is one of my number one products here, Sex God. It's also available on ebay.com and owlsherbs.com. So, basically diet, exercise, and then also supplements. Okay, the third and last thing, and this kind of goes into like kind of spiritual. Okay, so here's the thing also, okay, with sex, let's just say performance. Some of the inadequacies in the bedroom, or let's just say um your problems as far as if you have any, is neurological. Okay, you probably never even heard of that. Like, you never heard that. Your problems is your neurological, like your brain. You never really thought about that. Okay, um, it very much is in a lot of regards. The problems that you have in the bedroom are neurological. It has something to do with your nervous system, okay, with your brain functionality. Like literally, you could be just so much of, we work a 9 to 5. Well, most of people work a job. They work 9 to 5. They work in overtime. They work in longer than normal. If you got a business, you work in over 40 hours. A lot of the problems are neurological, why we, might have problems functioning. Whereas your brain is so bedazzled, you're so tired all of the time. Your penis and your brain is on two different frequencies. You know you want sex, but your brain is like, no, we don't really need sex. We need some sleep. We need, some rest and relaxation. And basically, more rest is helpful for, to really to be one of the secrets between having great. A lot of times people don't understand this, right? And it's kind of hard to do when you work in jobs, right? And you got a busy life, you got a family, whatever. You got a lot, all of the stuff you got going on. It's hard to have sleep. It's hard to have good sleep because basically good sex correlates with good sleep. Okay, but one of the things that I have to say is that being that your nervous system corresponds with your, sexual drive, you can do some things to kind of like, let's just say, give yourself a spark. Okay. Now, one of the things that you can do is I don't necessarily recommend it if you don't smoke weed. I don't say you go ahead and start smoking weed. I'm not trying to make anybody a weed head, but weed does have an aphrodisiac to where basically it relaxes you and puts you in a zen mode, and then next thing you know, your dick is hard. You like, damn, I'm sitting here smoking and my dick is hard, and it's because you're so calm and your nerves are kind of contained somewhat and relaxed, and you're in a zen state, and now you feel better and your dick is hard. Before you're all over the place in your mind, you're disheveled, basically just a nervous wreck. And then you got, you basically smoke something, and then now, basically you're calm and relaxed, and now you got a fucking hard on. And it's because I know what the fuck I'm talking about. I know exactly what I'm talking about because I had these problems. And basically your nerves could be so shot that if you have problems with sleep problems and stuff like that, and stress and everything, you be shoveled to the point where you're like, man, I know I want some, but it's like, man, my left hand and my right hand don't talk to each other. They on two different lanes. So it's like, yeah, I mean, next thing you know, you smoke some weed and you're relaxed, and then you're like, damn, okay, here we go. I'm hard. But here's another thing. There's some called like gummies. Okay, there's like CBD gummies, right? And these CBD gummies have kind of a similar effect to where it's not necessarily marijuana or THC or whatever. It's basically hemp, and it relaxes you to the point where next thing you know, you're feeling more relaxed. Your nerves are pretty much calm and formulated more better to where then you might have an arousal after a while. You like, damn, okay, what I'm saying, I'm hard now. I'm harder than Japanese calculus, because my nerves are settled, I'm relaxed, and then boom, but yeah, I mean, a good old fashioned, good night's sleep, like I said, diet and exercise, some supplements can also help. Okay. So those are my tips for this evening for you to be better, have a higher form of sexual mastery. Okay. Let me kind of like let me find something here, because basically what I'm talking about is it's a certain like kind of Chinese it's like it's a Chinese saying for it. Um and I'm not certain if it's Jin or Jang or something like that, or Wang or something like that. It's Chi. I know Chi is energy. I know Jin I think Jin is Chi, Jin, and Yang. I think it's Yang. I think what I'm talking about is a Yang, your sexual force. So let me see here. Let me put it in energy. Let's see here. Let's see here. Yeah, I think this is it here. So this kind of goes into like Taoism and different, it kind of goes, more in depth, kind of martial arts. I'm definitely a martial artist. I basically it goes into that type of world. Sex in a certain level is martial arts. Some people probably don't talk about it like that, but it definitely is. So basically, it's I'll just put it in here, and this is something that you could probably look into as far as learning more about. And it's called Gene. It's your physical force. Your physical force. Okay. It's your physical force, and that is also sexually. Okay. So that's just some homework for you to dive into. I'm gonna leave you guys. Hopefully someone can learn from this, and basically, I try to do these every Saturday, but sometimes I'll be busy, so I try to keep this as much as I can. If you have anything as far as you want me to talk about that I haven't talked about, maybe for like a future show idea on Sex Saturdays, let me know. You could leave it in the comment section of this video, and then I'll try to see if I can talk about some new topics. Because I ain't gonna lie, I do struggle to come up with topics sometimes. So that's another reason why I don't do the show every Saturday. So, anyways, you have a good, I guess, Sunday at this point, and I'll see you for the next video.